Good morning. DJI is a drone manufacturer based here in South China. They're the leading producer of drones in the world, and that's a problem for policymakers who want to get Chinese companies out of American supply chains. American drone companies have a made in China problem, and that's also clashing with policies from Washington to get Chinese components out of drones used by the Defense Department. China controls 90% of the market for commercial drones, along with everything that goes inside drones. When you see a number like that, 90% of the market worldwide, that means they make more than the rest of the world combined times 9. That's what that number means. So the United States is not even close to setting up the industrial plant to catch China. That's a problem for the Pentagon. And it's now a problem for American drone manufacturers who want to build drones for the Pentagon because China is cutting those companies off. Skydio is one of our biggest companies, and now they're trying to build everything themselves. China could, in theory, shut down the entire drone industry across the world for an entire year if they wanted, according to this group leader at the Pentagon. The Defense Department has what they call a blue list, which are companies that have been approved to build drones for the military. These drones need to be free of Chinese components, cameras, flight controllers, radios, and ground control. None of that can come from China if a drone company wants to win a Pentagon contract. It's very difficult to get on that list, according to drone makers. Over 300 companies applied to have their drone models considered, but only 23 companies made the cut. For many of them, it's because on close examination, they were using Chinese components. There is just no getting around China in the drone market, and DJI just sucks all the air out of the room. Industry insiders know that DJI has a huge head start. They make high-quality drones, and they do so affordably. DJI, of course, also has the Chinese supply chains of magnets and the other materials that Chinese export bans are cutting off for everyone else. So domestic companies cannot possibly compete, and according to the head of the U.S. National Drone Association, that is not going to change until DJI is banned. Nobody will risk major investments unless DJI goes away. President Trump signed an executive order in June to create a drone manufacturing industry in the United States. Section 7, paragraph C, seeks to guarantee that drones and their components remain under American control, free from national security risks, and secure the supply chain for drones against foreign control. This is a survey of government users in 2022, and DJI was a top supplier for civil drones. These are drones used by civil authorities, local governments mainly, not for commercial use. So think here of organizations like police departments, city planning and engineering. Dual-use drones are those used in civil and defense applications. The Defense Department recently produced this video with the Secretary of Defense announcing an initiative to build out our manufacturing base for drones for warfighters. You should watch it yourself to believe it. This would be an elementary school science project here in, well, anywhere here in Asia. So if you don't find this presentation here from the head of a department with $1 trillion budget to be confidence inspiring, what's here at the New York Times probably isn't going to change your mind. This is the Defense Department unit referred to in the Forbes piece. They set up an area in Alaska to test some drones from leading U.S. companies who are trying to win these big Pentagon contracts. They spent 4 days testing prototypes and had a group of soldiers trying to stop the drones with electronic jamming gear. The purpose here is to find an American company who can build millions of small, inexpensive drones that don't need parts from China. That's going to take a lot of time and cost a lot of money. Anduril Industries is one that is under sanction from China, and if they want to be in the drone business at all, from now on they need to build everything in-house. The president's son is now on the board of directors for Unusual Machines, and I have a sudden strange feeling that a big contract is heading their way. For now, though, there are lots of companies that want to win the jackpot that's going to be paid to someone so they can collect all the money and sit on a beach for the rest of their lives. So here the companies are testing their drones, and the first 2 days of testing revealed lots of problems. Over 100 companies applied, and the Defense Innovation Unit picked the best 4. So these are the top 4 American drone companies that the Pentagon can find. The drone built by Dragoon had engine problems and got lost, failed to hit a target. Then on the final day, their drone did recognize an M113 APC and crashed into it. The hit was considered a success, even though the target was the wrong one. Okay, this is literally the definition of a friendly fire incident. The M113 is used right now in NATO militaries. And this shows how low the bar is, that this company scored an A-, even though they just blew up an armored vehicle with friendlies inside. AeroVironment was worse. First a launch failure, then crashed into a mountain, then nearly crashed again into a group of soldiers that were in the exercise. AeroVironment was the top-ranked drone maker here on this table from 3 years ago, but that's the problem. In 2022, they were able to put together high-quality drones because they could source parts from China. Now the Chinese have cut them off, and the Pentagon is saying that you need to build them yourself. If you guys want this big pile of money, all you need to do is build a drone that doesn't blow up when it takes off, then doesn't blow up our own guys. This is Phoenix, ancient town in Hunan. Be good.
And it will begin to seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be open to you. Everyone who asks receives. He who seeks finds. And to him who knocks, it will be open. Jesus said, I am the way,